The reason why you are blessed is because there's a humbleness to you. Where people may get egotistical, you are humble. You give thanks and honor and praise to God, a higher being. You respect yourself. You're confident in yourself. You know what you're capable of doing, but you still give the praise and honor to a higher being. You have a best friend in you. You have a friend in you. You have someone that you can confide to. This someone may not be in the physical, but you can talk to this someone, through your mind or talking to yourself. And usually these type of people you'll get picked on. Maybe you were picked on as a child because you had a friend that you would talk to, or because you wanted to pray, you wanted to talk to God, you wanted to tell God about your day. When good things happen, you wanted to tell God about the good things that happen. When bad things happen, you wanted to tell God about the bad things that happen. You always include God, your God. You respect earth. You respect who created you. Like, you look at yourself and your body and you're like, wow, I really have hands. Like, wow, we really have a sky. Like, do y'all see the sun? Like, this is a beautiful portrait every day. We really have the ocean. We really have water that we can drink, water that we can swim in, water that just makes the world go round and round. Everyone has water in their home, and you appreciate these things. You walk around, feeling honored and blessed to even be around these things, because you realize that earth is really just a blessing within itself, like animals, okay? Humans didn't create animals, you know? The fact that they're here and they're so beautifully made, to the point where they're so perfect, they're so perfect looking. Like, an elephant is such an elephant. Even a mouse is such a mouse. A rat is such a rat. A cat is such a cat. It's just so beautifully made. Just like us humans, we are so beautifully made. Very unique in our own way. Just like trees, very unique, very beautiful. They bring forth so much, okay? Plants and fruits, just grass, okay? Soil, dirt is a blessing. You get me? So you're someone who is very, very humble because you know that being on earth is a blessing. Although we're experiencing hell many times on earth, it is still a blessing to even be experiencing and being able to just live. This is how it becomes real. This is why life is real, because we're already living, spiritually. We're living. But God wanted to create something that he can actually use and can become real and can work on his earth and do things, and God did it. He figured it out. All right. He figured out how to create humans, and here we are, beautifully made, perfectly picked. We don't pick our parents. Some people, we may think that we do, and it's been around before you're even here, right? But even still, it's like humans are just made so unique and different. A lot of things we don't really have control of, it's really all God's doing, in the way that he has our body just a whole system just operating itself, unless you're ill or you're sick or whatever like that, then maybe you have machines and things that is helping you operate. But for the ones that are healthy and well, you should be grateful every day that you're your own machine, where you're able to just walk. You don't need to be plugged into the wall. You don't need to have no batteries inside of you. Like, you're real. You're not a robot. You're not a TV. You're not a cell phone. Those things can die and die and die and never come back on. You, when you die, it's a different type of death because you're really real. We don't have to put Nay in an outlet for y'all to hear me right now. This is me, like me being able to walk, me being able to talk, me being able to live. This is real. So that's a blessing within itself. It's like, wow, God, you're kind of cool. Like, forget kind of, like, you're really cool. Like, how did you even create these things, you know? So you always have that humility when it comes to God, when it comes to his angels, anybody that works for him, okay? And some people may say the universe because they're referring to anybody that works for him, okay? Just to clear that up really, really quick. It don't be that serious, you know? But some people feel like they want to give respect and honor to everybody that is part of it. God is the leader, but he created things to help him with earth. He have angels guarding certain parts of the earth. So we give our praises and honor to them too. You know, because their eyes are on us. Their eyes are watching me. Their eyes are making sure I'm good. They're making sure that we have heat. They're making sure water is flowing. They're making sure that we're provided for. So as long as they're still blowing that sun, the fire from the sun for us, we will give praise to everybody. If you're working for God, if you are of the light and you're making things right, I give praise and honor to you. I'm grateful for you. You know, it takes a village. And I know God, he did it in a way where he wanted to create many things to take care of his land and his people and his just universe, his world. So he created many things. He had many different type of angels. These are spoken of in the Bible, you know. So we know their jobs, or we can kind of assume off of what some of the Bible may tell us, or if we look it up, do some research, you know, but many of us have not actually met them to really know. But we know what the Bible says. We know what research and documents may say. And it's up to us to believe that. And people that believe that, they will give praise and honor and respect always to the angels, the archangels, the guardian angels, you know, just everybody that is working for the light. You may not like the word angels. That's kind of weird. That's your problem, you know, but, hey, it is what it is. You know, we give praise and honor and thanks to everybody that is working towards the light. And this is why we give thanks and honor to Jesus, because we know Jesus was of the light. Okay. He was new. He was fresh. He was showing them the way to do things. He was letting them know that it was okay to do certain things. He was showing them that he could do certain things because he believed in certain things, you know. So he came in with something new and fresh that they wasn't really used to. They were used to Moses' way in the Old Testament kind of way. And he came in to give them kind of a new way. Did everyone get the message the right way? That's still to be figured out, but yeah. So we give praise to Jesus. This is why we honor Jesus, because he is of the light. He's making things right. So we give praise and honor to him. You get me? So anybody that is of the light doing things right, we honor them. We respect them. This is why when you come across speakers, listeners, mentors, coaches, doctors, lawyers, whatever, influencers, I don't care what they do, and they're very inspiring and they're of the light, making things right, this is why you listen to them. This is why these are the people you should be attracting yourself to, because they are of the light. They're making things right. They're walking like Jesus. So Jesus had people with him. Okay. People of the light, they're going to have a select few that is going to be with him. okay, who's going to be 100% supportive of him, 100% believing of what this person can do. Jesus had people besides a couple, who didn't really believe, who still wanted to play around and, caused a lot of things to happen. But I guess that's just the way that it was supposed to be. Who knows, whatever. But it'd be, dang, that's crazy right there. But yeah, you're gonna have some people that is supportive of you, that's walking with you, that is pushing you, that is all standing by what you're saying, that is believing in this God that you're serving. These are you're going to form your own disciples. You know what I'm saying? When you're really of that, walking in that, you're going to have people attract themselves to you. And even if you're not the one that's in that position, right? You need to attract yourself to someone that is in that position, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe you're not the Jesus, but maybe you're a Peter or a John, or hopefully you ain't a Judas, but whatever. God's will still will be done. You get what I'm saying? You need to attract yourself to that Jesus. Attract yourself to people that is a delight, making things right, people that is on a mission, people that is talking to God, people that have a connection to God. But you got to really, test the spirit and really see how people character in their life is, because that will really tell you a lot. It won't tell you everything, but it'll tell you a lot. Have that conversation, really kind of get to know someone on intellectual level, y'all. Sorry, I got a notification. But yeah, try to really just build that intellectual conversation, because then you'll get to know a lot about just someone's brain, because when you go through an ascension, or when you're being spiritually awakened, some people like God be trying to wake them up, but they keep going through cycles over and over. It's always a repeat. It's a repeat. It's a repeat. It's a repeat until eventually you kind of get it, but not everybody get it, but a majority of people get it, and then they kind of just drift off onto what side they're going to choose after they start going through this dark night of soul. Things might start happening in their life. It's kind of kicking their ass. They don't always beat Goliath. Everybody don't always win, or everybody don't always want to win. They don't want to fight. They choose the side that they want to be on. You get what I'm saying? So, but when people get to that stage of the stage of awakening and stuff like that, a lot of people definitely going through it, towards, it might happen like towards your 20s. I'm going to say like your 25, 26, 27. But big significant things can also happen when you're in your 18s, your teens and stuff. Honestly, it can happen at all ages. We're all uniquely born different. Some people can say that, oh, I was awakened when I was 12, or when I was 9 years old, when I was 7, and that might look different for everyone. Everybody may experience things differently. Some people probably went through so much more lessons, and was just they had God, and they was going through things, and they felt that connection to God, but they were still like living in kind of hell, just going through things, learning about people, learning about themselves, learning how to react in certain situations. So they wasn't really awakened till later on down the line, when they did a lot of things, and now they're like, oh, this is why I did those things, and just really reflecting and everything like that, because that's usually what it is. You reflecting on your life, and picking a side. Like, do you want to serve a righteous life, or do you want to do the bullshit that more than likely you was probably doing? Usually that's why I say a spiritual awakening, sometimes it'll really happen in your adult life, because you'll be out here experiencing, or maybe just a bit more curious to life, or just not really knowing yourself yet. So you're, being friends with anybody, or having like the wrong boyfriend, having the wrong girlfriend, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're very closed off, and that's another way. Like, maybe you don't have boyfriend or girlfriend, and you wasn't like that with all these friends, but you was very to yourself, closed off. You had depressive thoughts. You was thinking about suicide. You was just like, fuck friends. Maybe something happened within your family, okay, and you just couldn't trust nobody. It's like, it could go mad different ways for everybody. You get what I'm saying? It really can. You get what I'm saying? So I say like a awakening will really just be the time when you're older, and now you can go back and look at how you treated people, how you played a part in any situation. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a right your wrongs situation, and you may meet certain people during this time that may be there to encourage you or tell you, you know, what side kind of to pick or whatever like that, or tell you to push forward, because maybe you may be in a situation where you losing your job, or you losing your girlfriend, or you losing your boyfriend, or you that already happened and now it's still time and you still trying to move forward from that, or it's a grief in the family, or just experience some type of loss or sadness. You know, it could be all different type of situations that trigger that awakening where we're just like, okay, I need to, like, what is going on in my life? Like, I've been in this depressive state for so long now. Like, I'm just letting myself go away. I'm just eating or not eating. Like, I'm just not even fucking eating. Okay. Some people do that where they don't eat. And then some people do where they do eat. Okay. Where they just eating. They're bored. They don't want to talk to nobody. They're distancing themselves from everybody. They're closed off. They're not going outside. They're not getting pretty. They're not getting a haircut. If they is getting a haircut, they just in the house. They're not showing nobody. They're going to work, coming straight home, going to work, coming straight home. It's just a cloud over you. And this is kind of when you will have that moment to start reflecting on your life and what is going on. You know, usually God will send a birdie in that will say something to you to kind of uplift you and be like, yo, what am I doing? Like, what is going on? Like, damn, and then you'll start having those talks with yourself, which is perfect. And then you start talking to yourself and letting it all out. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk about everything to yourself and be like, yeah, that happened, but it is what it is. There gotta be something better out here for me. It gotta be more. Like, this can't be it. You know, you gotta believe, especially if you're not someone that was, even though we was in hell, we was probably karmic ourselves, before we actually, like, you could be a child of Israel, but maybe you still had, some lessons to be learned. So you could have been a little bad or naive or, whatever when you was younger. So still some things that you needed to repent for, but you probably ain't like the worst child, because you would still have that God in you. But some people, they had that God in them and they still be the worst damn child. But God will use them as a testimony. This one, listen, we listen and we don't judge. This is God's world. I'm literally just here. Like, the ocean is the world. The sun, the moon, the stars, the sky is the world. The trees are the world. I'm literally just here. That's how I feel. And I feel like this is why I'm so blessed. And I know that if you feel this same way and you look at life in this way, you will be blessed, because you don't just wake up and just be like, oh yeah, this is God, this is the world, yeah, this is just where we live. Like, no, like, really look up and be like, oh shit, look at what I'm doing. Like, look at where we living at. Like, I think a lot of people need to look at life in a bird's eye view more, so that they could really see it from a different perspective or something. Like, getting in the airplane is very important. Like, just looking down and seeing like how small we are, like, and even when we be in a plane that don't even be the highest, like, we could still keep going up and up and up and up and up. Like, we're so fucking small. Like, for real. And that's just what keeps me humble, all right there, And I just look at it like, okay, whatever, another opportunity or possibility to take care of my needs or my wants or my family needs or wants. I don't really get big-headed when God bless me with things, because, again, it's still so small. Like, let's be real. When we die, they not burying all my shit with me. So it's small. Like, you get, like, it's really so small. The only thing I'm taking with me is my soul. So mine's what, it's just when you look at things from this point of view, trying to look at it from heaven's point of view, bird's eye view, looking down on it, you'll just realize what really is the most important. We got to take it back to the basics. Back to the basics, which is the world, which is just soil, okay, grass, fruits, okay, nuts, plants, trees that grow these vegetables and herbs that we need. Like, that's really what we really, really need to survive, right there in the water. So just having that and having the sun out for light. God said, let there be light, and boom, the angels went to work and gave lights. We honor them. We respect them. We honor God because he's such a boss. And that's who we need to be. We work smarter, not harder. If you can get people, if you can create someone to be who you need them to be for your mission, for your plan, that's what you do. That's what a boss does. A boss builds a business up to what it needs to be. A boss builds a relationship up to what it needs to be. A great, loving, loyal relationship. A boss builds a home. Okay? That house becomes a home because it's built by a boss. You got to think like that. You got to be like that. That's God. He's like, he have us to take care of his props and his fruits and his land. He have the angels to take care and watch over us. So now he's able to move and maneuver and do whatever he needs to do because he's not working and being everywhere. That's actually good business advice. You know, people don't succeed because they want to do it all themselves. Ain't no I in team. That's a boss. This is why it's important to network, right? And then also to connect with people that can actually be an asset, where you can work with them, where y'all can really multiply, you know, where you can create with them, where you can actually use them for what you need in your life, and what they can use you for what they need in their life, because we're all using each other. But you can't only be using them. They got to be able to use you too. You got to be an asset as well. They can't be an asset for your life, but you're a doodle squat and a liability for them. It don't work like that. No. You get me? So God really got the perfect system, you know? Really got the perfect system. But it's as real as it can get when he got humans. When he created humans, that's when it became super real. When he created actual human beings to walk the earth, and how curious we are and how disobedient we are just as a whole, just very curious, you know, exploring the deep, deep, deep wonders of the ocean. Like, we don't have no business there, let's be real. And us going up, up, up away to go outer space, and just sometimes we don't have no business in these spots, you know. And I get it, like, we want to explore, like, what is it, what's going on, like, what's on this earth. I get that, but you know, we cannot get too big-headed and think that we have to. Sometimes it just has to be a mystery. You know, some things are just a mystery. God will show us when he wants to show us, or he will show us in ways that he want to show us. But it's not, we don't just go and go just grab it from him. That's crazy. And I feel like that's when humans do. Or sometimes we just overlook that you woke up. You know, no machine attached to you, no cord in your booty to plug you in, no batteries that had to be installed. Like, you literally just woke up and was able to walk out of your bed, walk off your couch, whatever type of situation you got, and go in the bathroom, brush your teeth, get in the shower, wash your ass, whatever it is, take a poop, get some water, blah, 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 blah. You were able to do all of that on your own. If God is real, ain't real, I don't know what is. If God ain't real, I don't know what is. Because if God is in me, then I know he's real, because I'm as real as can be. Okay, human beings, we are so damn real, it don't make no sense. Well, I will catch y'all in my next video. I love y'all. Bye.